Recording in progress.
Okay, so they want the unit vector in the direction AB, but we do not have the vector AB, so that's what we need to find first, right? But they did give us information to find AB, so we can do that. We know from addition of vectors that AB would be equal to AO plus OB. And like the many examples we did before, we know that now AO would be changed to minus OA plus OB, and from there you substitute accordingly. So I know that AO is minus 2i hat plus 5j hat, so that's exactly what I would substitute into here. So minus OA would be minus 2i hat plus 5j hat, and then that's plus OB. And they told me that OB is 3i hat minus 7j hat. So that's exactly what I would put. And you simplify to find AB. This, when I expand these brackets, so I use the distributive law, it would become 2i hat. How did I get that? Minus 1 by minus 2i hat would give me a positive 2i hat. And then minus 1 by positive 5j hat would give me a negative 5j hat plus 3i hat minus 7j hat. You add and subtract the like terms. So these two are like terms. 2i hat plus 3i hat would give me 5i hat minus 5i hat minus 7j hat would give me minus 12j hat. So this right here is the vector AB, and this is the vector that I would be using in order to find the unit vector. Do you understand that?
Yes, Miss, I understand.
Everybody, do you understand that?
I think so.
I think so. You know, to ask me if you have any questions, eh?
No, I'm fine so far. I learned this yesterday. No, today. No. Saturday, I should say.
Today, okay. So we said this is the vector that we're using to find the unit vector. Okay, finding the unit vector, we know that we need the modulus of this vector, right? So, modulus or magnitude, same thing. So that's the first thing I would find, the modulus of this, or magnitude, whatever you want to use, right? So that would be 5 squared plus minus 12 squared, which would give me 25 plus 144, which should be 169, and the square root of 169 is 13. We only take the positive value, because some people might be wondering, but I thought when you do square root, you need to take both the positive and negative solution. Not in this case, right? Because we know length is a scalar quantity for my physics people. Length is a scalar quantity. It only has magnitude, no direction. So it's just 13. For my non-physics people, let's say I have a length of wire. I could have 13 centimeters for the length of wire, but I would never have negative 13 centimeters, right? It does not make sense. Length is always a positive value. And that's why we only use the positive 13, right? Just in case anybody was wondering. Second thing, find the unit vector. So the unit vector in this case would be 1 on the magnitude by the vector, or some people say, instead of saying 1 on the magnitude multiplied by the vector, some people just say, so let me just put all, the vector divided by the magnitude. Same thing, right? So whichever one you feel comfortable with. So that's what you're doing, right? Remember, AB, the vector that we're using, is 5i hat minus 12j hat. I just need to erase this to get some space. The magnitude I just found out is 13. So I would put 1 on 13 multiplied by the vector AB, which is 5i hat minus 12j hat. Let me just tell you something now. Unless they ask you, to write it in a specific form, you see this right here, just leaving it as 1 on 13, 5i hat minus 12j hat. This is acceptable, right? There's really no need for you to say, okay, 1 on 13 multiplied by 5i hat is 5 on 13i hat, and 1 on 13 multiplied by minus 12j hat is minus 12 on 13j hat. I'm just writing it out just in case somebody doesn't understand what I'm saying. So I'm telling you, unless they ask you to write it in a specific form, it's acceptable to just leave your answer like this. There's no need for you to write the answer as 5 on 13 I hat minus 12 on 13 j hat. If they specifically ask you to write it in this form, okay, write it like that for them. If they didn't say anything about that, you can leave it like this. Hold on.
1 is easier. Way easier.
No marks will be deducted, but please listen to me carefully. That's if they didn't ask you to write it in a specific form. If they just said, find the unit, just like this question, they said, find the unit vector in the direction of AB, this answer is acceptable just as it is. Or you could write it like this, right? But if they specifically told you in this form, you have to leave it in this form. Or if they specifically told you in this form, you have to put it in this form, right? That's the only time you would lose marks for that. So, hold on. So in that form, you have it as a scalar multiple of the vector, correct? And that is okay, they didn't specify it. This right here in the yellow. Yes. Yeah. Wait, oh gosh, I shouldn't have used that. Everybody good with this? Easy.
Yes, miss, I
It
actually
really is.
understand.
That's nice. But yeah, this really is easy. It's 3 marks. And questions like these are with 3-4 marks. So it's really 3 marks. Can I clear this now?
Yes, miss, you can.
Okay. Given that OP is equal to 2, -3, and OQ is equal to -4, 1, find the unit vector in the direction PQ, giving your answer in the simplest third form. Notice they asked you for a specific form, right? So that's what they want. Just like this question, they did not give me the vector AB, so I had to find AB. They did not give me PQ, so I need to find the PQ first, right? Before I could do all of that. I'll give you some time to attempt it, and then we will go through it together. Let me just read it one more time. Given that OP is equal to 2 minus 3 and OQ is equal to -4, 1, find the unit vector in the direction PQ, giving answer in the simplest third form. When they say simplest third form, oh gosh, you see how I was telling you, you can leave your answers 1 over the magnitude and the vector. So like this. a scalar multiple of the vector, just like before. When they say simplest third form, okay, so let me just say this is a root 3. When they say simplest third form, you can't leave it like this, right? Like a scalar multiple of the vector. No. You actually have to simplify. So you need to say 1 over root 13 multiplied by whatever, and so on and so forth. You'll see what I mean, right? So we said, since they want the unit vector in the direction of PQ, and they did not give us PQ, the first thing we need to do is to find exactly what that vector is, right? So let me just write out the information here, because I didn't write down this question. Anyways, so OP, remember it should really have an arrow here. It's just difficult to do that when typing. So OP is equal to 2 minus 3, and then OQ is minus 4, 1. And I just want you to note something. In the previous questions, they actually gave us the vectors in the form, okay, let me not say any form. In the previous questions, they gave us the vectors in terms of I hat and j hat. But for this question, they gave us the column vectors. So what does that mean? Instead of giving your answer in terms of I and j, so I hat and j hat, like we did before, leave it as a column vector. Why? Because they started off giving you column vectors, so just leave it as a column vector, right? But if they gave you in terms of I hat and j hat, then write your answer in terms of I hat and j. So first thing we're doing, finding PQ. Hold on, let me just remove this. PQ is equal to PO plus OQ. But we know that PO is the same as minus OP plus OQ, and then we substitute accordingly. So minus OP would be minus 2 minus 3 plus minus 4, 1. Now, let's just pretend the close bracket is there. So minus 1 by 2, that'll give me minus 2, and then minus 1 by minus 3 will give me a positive 3. And then this is still adding to minus 4 and 1. We're dealing with the components separately. So x components with minus 2 plus minus 4 is minus 6. And then 3 plus 1, 4. This is the column vector for the vector PQ. And this vector is the vector I would be using to find the unit vector. Do you understand that so far?
Yes, Miss.
Nice. I really hope this is simple enough for you to understand. If not, please let me know. That's okay. So like I said, since they gave you column vectors instead of vectors in terms of I hat and j hat, just leave your answer as a column vector, right? So the first thing you want to do, find the magnitude. You find the magnitude of this. So that would be the square root of minus 6 squared plus 4 squared, which would be equal to 36 plus 16. Everybody good with that? Everybody good with how I found the magnitude of this? Square root of 52? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes, Miss, I'm good.
Okay, good. Right, now finding the unit vector, we said that would be 1 on the magnitude multiplied by the vector itself. Or some people write it as the vector divided by the magnitude. It means the same thing. I know now that the magnitude of PQ is root 52. So that would be 1 on the square root of 52. And then, oops, that's a 2. Anyways, and then we multiplying that by the vector PQ. We're leaving it as a column vector because they gave me the other two vectors as column vectors. So this would be multiplied by my question.
What you said for number 2 and start over for number 2.
Number 2.
Yes, Miss.
Okay. So after you find the magnitude, all you need to do now to find the unit vector, so let me just write unit vector is equal to, it's a certain formula you need to apply, right? So let me just write it up here. It's 1 over the magnitude of the vector multiplied by the vector. So in this case, the magnitude of the vector would be the magnitude of PQ, which is root 52. So that's 1 on root 52, that's a 2, multiplied by the vector PQ, which is minus 6/4. Are you good with that?
Yes, Miss. Thank you.
No problem. All right, but for the other question, I said it was acceptable to just leave it in this form. However, in this question, they ask you for the simplest third form. Therefore, you cannot leave it like this. You cannot leave it like this either. Why? Because they ask for the simplest third form. Do you understand that?
Miss,
Yeah.
could you?
You cannot leave it as the square root of 52. And you cannot leave it like 1 on the square root of 52 by minus 6/4. Because, yeah, because they ask for the simplest third form. So what exactly do I mean by the simplest third form? Well, this can actually be simplified further. Let me show you what I mean, right? So the square root of 52, from thirds, you should pick up that 52 is the same as saying 13 by 4. Saying 13 by 4 is the same as saying the square root of 13 multiplied by the square root of 4. The square root of 13, well, that would just remain as the square root of 13, right? Because 13 is not a perfect square. But 4 is a perfect square, and the square root of 4 is 2. So this third right here, root 52, can actually be simplified to 1 on 2 by root 13. Do you understand that?
Yes, Miss.
And you have to do that for this question, right? Because they asked for the simplest third form. And then,
Miss, when we write 1 over 2 square root 13, we put back the vector PQ.
yeah,
That was also, yes, Miss. Why did that, Miss?
do what?
1 under 2 under the 13. Why?
Wait, 1 on what?
The yellow part. 1 over the yellow part. 1
This?
over, yeah, that.
Because this question specifically asked for the
Hold on, let me get my
simplest third.
calculator.
Oh. Question specifically asked for the simplest third form.
Oh.
So instead of leaving it as the square root of 52, this can actually be simplified further to give me 2 root 13. That's what I was explaining up here. This is the simplification. Some calculators actually give it to you, right? You could put in 1 on the square root of 52 and it would give you this answer. Some calculators don't do that. Are you okay with that now?
Yes, miss.
Okay. And then we're saying minus 6 by 1 and 2, 13. So let me just erase this. This would become minus 6 on 2 root 13. And then below would be 4 on 2 root 13. But you don't just leave it like this, right? Because this could actually be simplified further to give me minus 3 on root 13 and 2 on root 13. Oops. So let me just put it. So, do you understand that? This is the final answer in green. Minus 313 and 213. Are you good with that?
Miss, I can't see the last. Miss, this something block it, miss. I can't see
Something's
the last.
blocking it. You can't.
Miss, I can't see. Hold on.
In green here?
Yeah, the last part I can't see.
Okay. Let me take off this.
Is it 4 over then 2 and root 13 and yeah.
Let me write it over here. It's minus 6 on 2 root 13. That's x. Y would be 4 on 2 root 13. But this could be simplified. So minus 3 on root 13 and 2 on root 13. Do you understand that? Well, can you see that now?
Yes, it is.
Okay, nice. So I'm like rationalizing a
Thank you.
SID. No problem. Well, rationalizing, I wouldn't call this rationalizing. More like simplification, but like rationalizing is a form of simplification. I wouldn't call this rationalizing, because rationalizing is when you use like the conjugate and all that, and you're not using the conjugate in this case. You're simply just simplifying the SID, if that makes sense. So rationalizing is a form of simplification, but not all simplification is rationalizing. Do you get that? Okay. Okay. Can I clear this now?
Yes, Miss, I'm finished.
Okay. Troy, Zafira, can I clear it?
Yes, it is.
Zafira? Okay, nice. Next one. This is an easy one. Find the unit vector parallel to V. So all you're doing is just find the magnitude and then use the formula 1 over the magnitude multiplied by the vector to get the unit vector. That's it. That's all you're doing. And notice since they gave you this as a column vector, you should write your answer as a column vector as well. Let me know when you finish, right? Let me do this question. Find a unit vector parallel to V, which is equal to minus 15, 8, column vector. Leave the answer as a column vector. All you're doing, find the magnitude of that, substitute it into the formula, and that's it. So V is minus 15 on 8, so therefore the magnitude of V is going to be 15 squared plus 8 squared. Can anybody tell me what answer they got for the magnitude?
Square root of 289.
Okay, square root of 289. Anybody else got that?
Miss, and that's 17. Square root of 289 is 17.
Yes, miss, I got that.
Okay. Good job. That's the answer. 289, which would be 17. Next step, substitute into your formula and get your answer.
So that would be
literally it.
1/17 plus the values.
Plus,
It's times.
yes, times or multiplied by. Careful there. So because it didn't ask for a specific form, let me just erase this one. Because it didn't ask for a specific form, I could leave it like this: 117 by minus 15, 8. Or if you desire, minus 15 on 17 and then 8.
17 and 8 over 17.
Yep, good job.
Yeah, this one.
And just in case, I don't know, maybe in the exam you have some doubts on where they would mark you, like if they would accept this or if they're really looking for this, just write the both of them. You won't get penalized, right? So you could write this, do all of that, substitute, you write this, then you write this as well. You know, just as a backup plan, you know? Just got back, so actually, it's fine. Everybody good with this, right? Right. Okay. Everybody just died. Okay. The position vectors of A and B with respect to a fixed origin O are given by AO. Give me AO now. OA is equal to 3i hat minus 2j hat, and OB is equal to 5i hat minus 7j hat. Find the unit vector in the direction AB. This question is very similar to this question. Find AB, and only then would you be able to find the magnitude and then find the unit vector. Very simple. Let me know when you finish.